There's a relatively new hand grinder that's come on the market by Cafe Sing. It's called the Orca, and it delivers very similar to the Comandante, but at a similar price, it delivers 2 sets of burrs other than 1. But can it hold up against the other heavyweight champions of the hand grinder world? Well, this is my review. Let's check it out. Okay, now you guys know how much I love the Comandante hand grinder because it's just so smooth to grind. And I think anything when you're trying to grind 18 to 22 grams of coffee, you want it to be a smooth and enjoyable ride, because otherwise you're not going to want to grind coffee and you'll just go back to buying pre-ground. So let's go through all the basic materials and the function and features of the Cafe Sing Orca. It's a very solid base. It's about 1.2 kilos. There's 2 sets of flat burrs. There's the Ghost Burrs, which are specifically for filter, and then there's the ones that range for espresso to Turkish to cold press to AeroPress to any sort of type. They're very flexible ones. They're both 49 mil, and they are made from stainless steel and they're titanium coated. So similar to the Comandante, however, the Comandante uses a very special patented variation to sharpen theirs, which then supposedly lasts forever. But Comandante use nitrogen coated as opposed to the titanium coated. In terms of capacity, it holds about 46 grams of light roasted coffee and about 38 grams of dark roasted coffee. So you can do 2 lots of shots from just the one fill, which is not bad. This can hold up to about 60 grams of ground coffee as well. So you can dose all your shots first into here if you like. For some reason, it comes with 4 elastic bands, which is the main grip. Now, I think this is because this might be like a generic chamber body, and then this is obviously the branding. So you can have them, not sure why they send you 4, but maybe one breaks and you want to wear one as a bracelet if you've got really thin arms. So there are 24 grind settings, but each one has about 3 clicks in between, which I think equates to about 18 microns. So it has a range. You can get it quite fine, but it isn't a stepless grinder. One of the other things that's pretty cool is that it does have the shaft, so you can actually just grind it with your drill set if you wish. It nice and easily, similar to the Comandante, fits on top, and it's got a pretty good rotation. It does have a little bit of friction. You can feel that little friction there. I think that's when the burr set is not calibrated to 0, because it might need to be loosens up a couple of clicks outside of that. So I don't understand the burr alignment. I can't get it down to 0. It's sitting between 124, but I can feel there's a bit of touching of the blades there. So we'll see how that grinds. So total number of clicks is about 72. So it does give you enough to quite hone in on the espresso fines, which are really specific. Obviously, when you get up to the cold brew, it doesn't really matter so much. But when you're dealing with espresso, you really want to get those fine adjustments. So we'll test it out. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to try out these flat burrs because I think they could be all right. I'm not sure if this is going to work for espresso because it could be a long, hard, arduous journey just grinding 22.5 grams every time, especially if you're making mistakes. But for the Ghost Burrs, when you're doing 11 grams for filter, it's going to be half the amount of time for starters, and I think it's going to be a lot easier because it's a lot coarser. So we'll give it a test. First off, we'll try with the 22.5 grams, which is our recipe. I'm going to be using our Il Caramello coffee beans, which any of you guys that are watching this channel, my company, Coffee Beans Delivered, makes this beautiful coffee. It's so caramelly, malty, apricots. I just believe everyone should try it. If you're a milk drinker, even if you like drinking it as a black coffee, it's a fantastic blend. And you can jump on the website, coffeebeansdelivered.com.au, purchase all the coffees there. It really helps support the channel. But hey, you don't have to. If you don't want to, if you just want to watch these videos, hit the like button. Tell me I'm doing a good thing. And that's all the support I need from you guys. Let's get into making some of this beautiful coffee. So I've got 22.5, which is our dosing for Il Caramello recipe. From my small amount of research that I've done so far, around 7 clicks seems to be where people are saying espresso should be. With the Comandante, one of the benefits about the Comandante is that it has a universal click system. So you can say 7 clicks and someone on the other side of the world, if they've got the same coffee, same machine, they can just do 7 clicks and they'll get the exact same grind consistency. These might not be calibrated exactly the same, so I don't know how good this is going to go. But we're going to test it. We're going to see how long it takes. So start your timer, starting now. You can still feel it. Yeah, that's just taking so long. Let's finish up and see where we're at. Looking at the grinds, they look pretty good. They're pretty consistent. Might be a little bit fine. See, it's got some grit to it. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's see how it goes in the machine. I always love them when they fit into the portafilters. Some hand grinders that they don't make the chamber fit, and that's really horrible. In terms of retention, pretty close. Actually, it's perfect, straight on. So 0 retention. That it does stick a little bit down the bottom of it, and I did notice there's still a little few grinds just stuck in the bottom. But 22.5, that's bang on. Okay, obviously that ran very, very fast. So I thought they were fine, but they actually were quite coarse in terms of the extraction. It was well under extracted at about 16 seconds. Look, it's not bad. It's pretty bright. Overall, very balanced. There's not much sweetness in there because it's so sour, but it's very, very balanced. That's really nice. All right, let's try it again. So I've adjusted it a couple of clicks now, about 5.5. We'll see what the grind size looks like then. See you in about 2 minutes. Okay, now that's come out. That's powder fine. That is so fine. But, you know, I thought it was fine before and it poured through. Let's test it out. Okay. All right, so that one went a bit too fine, but that was only a couple of clicks back. So it went down to, what did I say, 6.5, and then that was too fine. So this is going to be nice and intense. Oh yeah, it's really good. Like the balancing, other than obviously being quite a bit bitter and over-extracted, it's still quite nice. The grind uniformity is really good. Back to the grind board, we're going to try 7.5 now. The only reason I want to do this and show you this part is not just to show you how hard it is to dial in a grind, but I really want to get the grind right so I can compare it with the EK43. I can't be bothered doing another 13 minutes of hand grinding. I've got a little hack that is really handy with these ones. We're going to drill it. So I'm going to load it up again to 22.5 grams, and then I'm going to drill it ground. Okay, so put all my beans in. Now, here we go. Bit of popcorning there at the end, but mostly pretty good. And that is a lot quicker and easier. Okay, it still seems pretty fine, but a lot less powdery than before. Let's give it a final try. Beautiful. All right, well, I'll have to go back to the drawing board on this one. Okay, so third time wasn't a charm. I think in order to save your time and my time, I'm going to skip ahead to now I've dialed it in fairly close. Got it set at 9.2. Just one thing to be aware of when you're drilling, if you do drill, make sure that the piece fits over top of your hex nut. Then you can actually get a nice tight fitting. Don't want to wreck it. And don't go too fast. You want to keep it relatively low speed. The reason is, well, you don't want to heat up your coffee as you're grinding with it being too fast. And there you go. So that, all right, that's looking pretty nice. So we'll run that through the machine and see how that goes. Okay, so yeah, so that was bang on. That looked beautiful. 31-second extraction, perfect amount. Yeah, very beautiful. That is spot on. Exactly the amount of acidity, the complexity. It's not overburnt. It's not over-extracted. It's not under-extracted. Perfectly balanced. I love that. All right, let's compare it with the EK43. All right, now to do a side-by-side comparison, see if they taste at all similar or which one outperforms the other. So this is the EK43. Okay, cleanse my palate. I think they're actually pretty good. EK, this has more depth to it. Like you can really taste the chocolates, the caramels, and the malts in there. This is a lot brighter, a little bit more flat. So that's an interesting observation. Not bad. Neither one is bad, actually. They're both brilliant. But just interesting that this one has a lot more clarity and complexity and depth to it than this one. Only slightly, though. But yeah, I mean, they're both brilliant. So there you go. Like this flat burr hand grinder holds its own against a $5,000 grinder, the EK43, the original, the OG. So not too bad for a $400 or $500 grinder. Pretty good. So I was reluctant to review hand grinders. They're not really my huge love. I prefer diving into the tech of electric grinders. But Cafe Sing reached out to me and they asked me if I would like to get one of these sent to me so they could do a video on it for you guys. And I thought, of course, anytime that someone wants to gift me one to review, I would happily do the review, because also what I want to do in an upcoming video is give this away to one of you guys watching. So stay tuned for a video in the future where I actually do a competition to give this away. But I always like to pass it forward. Anytime that I get gifted something, I want to gift it to you guys. But I still want to do a bit of testing on it first. Obviously, this review's my initial thoughts on it, but I want to do some more testing with it, hang with it, take it camping with myself, go traveling with it, like I did with the Comandante. Of course, if you like this content, it really supports me and the channel grows to hit that like button and let me know that I'm making the right content for you guys that you want to watch. So this is the Cafe Sing Orca hand grinder. Okay, now I want to show you the other burr set, the Ghost Burrs. Now these are primarily for filter. You won't use these for espresso. This can do filter as well, these normal burrs set. However, these are really designed to accentuate the flavors of your filter coffee. So we'll give these a go and we'll test them on some coffees that I have. Really easy changing over the burr set. You just need to zero it, so back to zero or as close to zero as you can get, and change it over. And no tools required. I actually like this part. Not that you're going to do this every day. You're not going to make yourself an espresso and then a filter, but if you wish, you can. Underneath, there's just a little nut that you just untwist to get off, and it just unscrews. There's a little spring-loaded bottom burr set, so the spring comes out there. Then you just take this part off, but this is anti-clockwise, so because it's threaded the opposite way. So when you're unscrewing, you're going clockwise, and when you're screwing, you're going anti-clockwise. Same when you put this new burr set on, the Ghost Burrs, slides on, pop the spring in, pop the bottom burr set in, push it down. There's a little plate that sits on top. Pop the top nut back on. You just got to put it down a little bit so that it can thread. So easy. There we go. It's time to... All right, and that is how easy it is to change over the Ghost Burrs. So super easy. Let's grind some filter coffee. So one thing I do notice with the Ghost Burrs is that they go to zero a lot easier than with the espresso ones. Also, when you're grinding anything finer than about 7, I've found, and this might not be for all of them, this might just be for this one, but when I'm grinding finer than 7, I do feel that the burrs are actually touching. If you're grinding for espresso, go above 7. I'm not really sure for filter what the level is. I'm gonna have to play around with it, but let's fast track that and we'll show you the results. All right, so I've got some natural processed Huila coffee from Colombia. It's from a farm called Finca Mariposa. These are just going to be absolutely lovely. So I'm just going to do a 11 gram in to 250, see what that tastes like. Really, hand grinders are better for filter coffees just because low RPM. They also don't take as much time to grind, aren't as hard because they're doing a much coarser grind and they're only doing 11 grams instead of 22. If you're doing a lot of espressos, I might recommend a hand grinder, but like it's obviously your decision as to how much effort you put into it. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's beautifully consistent there. Those granules, super consistent. Can't even really see not much fines at all. So that's really good. I think it's really important that you get a grinder that gives you consistent grind. So yeah, let's try this. All right. All right, I'm going to be using a lovely ceramic V60. This is made by Donna Saunders, a local ceramicist, which is just gorgeous. I really love these handmade ones. I think they just work so much nicer. Well, if they don't work nicer, they look nicer. Let's get cracking making this. Okay, let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that's so smooth. That is lovely. So yeah, I think there's definitely some value in using this just with the Ghost Burrs. However, I love the fact that it comes with both sets of burrs if you want to do espresso, if you want to change it over. It's not even hard. You can take this camping with you and you can then use it to make some espressos if you wish, and filters or whatever else you want as well. Super easy, but that is absolutely delicious. So lovely. So there you go. They're my first impressions of the Cafe Sing Orca hand grinder. Thank you so much to Cafe Sing for sending this to me. As I said, in the future, after I've done a couple more videos with it and I've used it a bit more, I'm going to give it away. So stay tuned to hang in for that competition. Obviously, there's still the other competition that I did for the flare. That's wrapped up, but you can see that video in full. As always, if you like this content, give us a like. Subscribe to the channel if you like these videos and you want to see more in the future. I'm Ride, your coffee coach, and as always, enjoy your brew.